You're a naughty, naughty man.
I'm naughty.
You wrote this movie.
I did, yes.
I remember being a kid, and whenever this film would come on, I would have to watch it. Not only are some of these moments timeless,
Who throws a shoe? Honestly.
but it's such a comfortable film altogether.
Very cool guy. Women love him.
Yes.
Worst teeth I've ever seen.
I've seen it so many times throughout my childhood, and during the entire time, had no idea it was a parody.
It's really poking fun of the spy genre.
James Bond, Matt Helm, In Like Flint. Every swinger in the 60s was like something by day, like a tennis player, and then a secret agent at night.
Now, maybe I wasn't the sharpest tool in the shed growing up,
You just don't get it, do you?
but to be fair, I wasn't super aware of the Bond films either. So what about it made it, at the time, stand completely alone? I mean, there have been so many parody films that have attempted to mock franchises, but most of them are so on the nose and cringe in their humor that it's hard to take it seriously, if at all. Yet, watching Austin Powers doesn't feel like you're wasting your time. Sure, it's a comedy. Sure, the stakes aren't crazy high because there's a ton of comedic relief to cut the tension.
Well, don't look at me like I'm frickin' Frankenstein. Give your father a hug.
But most of the scenes felt like they could have stood on their own.
I also like to live dangerously.
Like they just took the core concepts, flipped them on its head,
Finally, we come to my number 2 man. His name, number 2.
and made something both charmingly honest and hilariously brilliant.
You know, I'm always here on the show going, hey man, your movie's great. This movie's very funny.
So what separates Austin Powers from the usual parody junk is that it doesn't exist solely to make fun of something. It builds a world on its own.
Scott and his father, Mr. Avil?
Evil.
Parody films usually burn out fast because their entire existence depends on how many references they can squeeze in. They point at something familiar, laugh, and hope the audience laughs too. But Austin Powers doesn't do that. It reimagines a universe that feels lived in, where every absurd detail has its own internal logic.
You've all been gathered here to form my evil cabinet. Excuse me.
It doesn't need to lean on pop culture to function. It's funny even if you've never seen a Bond film in your life. You believe this guy exists.
That's not your mother, it's a man, baby!
You believe he was frozen in time and woke up in a world that doesn't make sense to him anymore.
You know, I sometimes forget you've missed out on the last 30 years.
That's not just clever, it's good writing. It also speaks volumes that so many of the film's jokes still hold up.
Why's everyone always laugh when I say that? They are after me, Lucky Charm.
Comedic timing, especially in parody, is one of the first things to age poorly. But here, the gags are structured with such precision and delivered with such over-the-top commitment that they transcend the moment they were written in.
All I'm saying, they're gonna get a...
There's something about the way Mike Myers stretches the joke just past the point of comfort.
You'll never be the head of a major corporation.
Okay, that'll do.
Okay.
Like the never-ending urinal scene or the painfully slow steamroller bit.
Evacuation complete.
They take one-note gags and transform them into something iconic. It's not just the joke itself, but your reaction to how long it's been going. Even crazier is just how much heart this film actually has.
Maybe I'd be a vet.
An evil vet?
Maybe like work in a petting zoo.
An evil petting zoo? Kill the little bastard, see what I care.
But Dad, we just had a breakthrough in group.
There are scenes that stop being parody and just become oddly sweet, like when Austin talks to Vanessa about appearances and the fact that attraction has more to do with how someone carries themselves than just how they look.
A lotta meant nothing to me.
Well, it means something to me.
That doesn't feel like a parody scene, that feels like something personal. And because the film is so relentlessly silly in other places,
There's nothing more pathetic than an aging hipster.
All right, Baldy.
these quiet, genuine moments hit harder than they have any right to do. And yet, even better is that if you remove the obvious nods to Bond,
My name is number 2.
change the names, this film could very easily stand on its own. It works as a character piece about a man struggling to stay relevant in a world that doesn't need him anymore.
Welcome to the 90s.
And the film doesn't just let him joke his way through it. He grows. He listens, he adapts. There's a real arc here.
Okay, Austin, I believe you. Now get dressed.
That's unheard of in parody. Most spoof characters are static. They're vehicles for punchlines.
There have been fabulous advances in the field of dentistry.
What do you mean?
Austin, for all his insanity, ends the film as a more self-aware and emotionally grounded version of who he was at the beginning.
I get it.
I have bad teeth.
There's also a lot of layers to this film's humor. There are physical gags, sure. There's innuendo, wordplay, awkward silences, and punchlines buried so deep in the script that you only catch them on your second or third viewing.
I'm Basil Exposition with British Intelligence.
The writing doesn't rely on shock value or gross out comedy.
My father would womanize, he would drink, he would make outrageous claims like he invented the question mark.
It aims for a wider spectrum. That's why it's more of a generational film. A kid might laugh at Austin's silly faces or Dr. Evil's ridiculous lair, while an adult might catch the subtle jabs at corporate culture, outdated masculinity.
What, did you use protection?
I had my 9mm automatic.
Or even mid-century British politics.
Margaret Thatcher naked on a cold day!
There's something for everyone, and it never sacrifices intelligence just to land a quick laugh. Mike Myers pulls off something damn near impossible here. He plays two completely different characters.
I want chicken, I want liver.
Austin and Dr. Evil. Both are memorable for entirely different reasons. Austin is chaotic confidence. Dr. Evil is awkward, repressed, and constantly one step behind.
I'm going to place him in an easily escapable situation involving an overly elaborate and exotic death.
What makes it so brilliant is how personal both feel. Dr. Evil isn't just a Bond villain ripoff. He's a deeply insecure man with parental issues.
When I was insolent, I was placed in a burlap bag and beaten with reeds.
He's got no sense of humor and a desperate need to be taken seriously.
Can you remind me what I pay you people for? Honestly, throw me a bone here.
And Myers gives him so many small, subtle gestures. The lip pursing, the pauses, the quiet frustration. It elevates this performance beyond caricature. Even the dynamics between characters add a surprising amount of depth. Vanessa's role isn't just to play the straight man. She challenges Austin. She calls him out, she puts him in his place, and actually changes his behavior. Their dynamic isn't built on dominance or sarcasm. It's built on mutual understanding and evolving respect. And then there's Scott Evil, who might be the most grounded character in the entire movie.
I'll come back down here, boom, I'll blow their brains out. It's no hassle.
His frustration isn't just funny, it's valid. He sees through all the ridiculousness and calls it out in real time.
I really am trying to kill him. He's quite wily like his old man.
This is what I'm talking about.
There's also something to be said about the film's sense of rhythm. Scene to scene, joke to joke, it never overstays its welcome. There's a strong grasp of comedic tempo. It knows when to hit hard, when to pause, and when to undercut a moment with something absurd.
End of apartheid.
Yeah, and I can't believe Liberace was gay.
A lot of modern comedies forget this balance. They either move too fast to let the joke breathe, or grind everything to a halt just to milk a punchline. Austin Powers, on the other hand, rides the line with confidence. Every scene feels like it was sculpted in the edit room for maximum effect. And visually, this movie is its own beast. It's absolutely soaking in 60s nostalgia. From the garish psychedelic color palette to the costume design, everything is turned up to 11, but never in a way that feels lazy. There's intention behind these aesthetics. The spinning beds, the lava lamps, the miniatures of secret lairs. It's all parody, but it's also art direction. The sets aren't just joke delivery systems. They're carefully constructed environments that completely sell the entire world. Even something as dumb as Dr. Evil's slowly moving chair works because it commits visually to the absurdity. There's also a lot being said here about sexuality and masculinity, without it ever turning preachy or smug. Austin is overtly sexual, but it's not framed as dominance. His sexuality is flamboyant, goofy, and oddly harmless.
I can't, darling.
Why not?
Because you're drunk, it's not right.
He flirts like a cartoon character, and while he thinks he's irresistible, the film never lets him get away with it without consequence. Contrast that with the typical spy fantasy, where women exist to fall at the protagonist's feet.
We can talk about business later.
Oh, behave.
Here they roll their eyes, they push back, they challenge him. Vanessa never exists as a reward, she's her own person, and Austin has to earn her respect, not just her affection.
Austin, if you want us to have a relationship, you have to get it into your head that times have changed.
The film plays with all the Bond tropes, but doesn't fall into their traps. Another subtle layer is its commentary on counterculture. Austin represents the free love, flower power optimism of the 60s, while the modern world he wakes up to is cynical and restrained. But instead of treating the past as superior, the film shows the flaws in both.
We would have done things differently, but the spirit would have remained the same. Right now, we've got freedom and responsibility to
a very groovy time.
Austin is out of touch, sure, but modern society is kind of cold. Nobody dances in the streets anymore. Everything feels stiff. Through this lens, the film laments a cultural shift, asking what we lost when everything became so self-serious. In its weird, jokey way, it makes a case for joy, for not taking yourself too seriously, for embracing the absurd.
I'm gonna have a lump there, you idiot. You fight like a woman.
And you can't talk about this movie without mentioning the music. The soundtrack is phenomenal, not just in terms of period authenticity, but in how it frames the tone. They make the world feel alive, and those musical interludes, Austin dancing through a crowded street, or suddenly breaking into a choreographed routine, aren't just gags. In the years that followed, Austin Powers redefined how parody could function. It proved that you could go full absurd without sacrificing structure or sincerity.
No, man, what we swingers were rebelling against is uptight squares like you.
That you could be visually ridiculous and emotionally grounded at the same time. The catchphrases might be what people remember, but the reason it stayed in pop culture was because there was a real care underneath the chaos. It had a soul, it had range, and in the end, it gave us something most parody films don't even attempt: a reason to care.